Hi, everybody. I am here. Um, it's great to be here today. I am really coming in today to talk to you guys about something very, very important and very dear to my heart. If you have a child, not even, a special needs child, but if you just have a child who does not know how to swim, we need to get them in some swimming lessons and we need to get them to learn how to swim. When I was growing up, it was strange, I'll say, for a person of color to be able to swim. We didn't swim when I was growing up. And hello, Mr. Josh.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I was just telling everybody that one of the important things for me is that we teach our babies how to swim.
Yes.
No, when I was growing up, to be honest, it was not taught to African American children. We didn't learn how to swim. And if some of us could swim, it was because we learned in ditches or in ponds because we didn't really have pools. And I never learned how.
Yeah.
My husband learned how, but I didn't. And I'm getting ready to introduce you right quick. But after as we call it here in Louisiana, the Great Flood of
But
2016,
mhm.
uh, life has changed for me drastically. And my daughter knowing how to swim is vital to her survival. So, Mr. Josh, I just want you to tell everybody who you are. Oh, you put it on there, but tell everybody who you are for me and tell them how you met me.
Okay. My name is Josh Landry. I am with the YMCA. At the time that I met the Sanders family, it was at the Pennington location off Old Hammond Highway. And they basically um, they were doing some swim lessons with Anne-Marie and their daughter. And at that time, we called it the Terrific Turtles, which was a cute name, but basically allowed them to be one-on-one with an instructor. At that time, it was Mr. Daniel. And because at that time, you know, kids learn in a different way. And water is one of those things where it attracts a lot of kids, especially Anne Marie. But because of that, it makes it so dangerous. So they were went through a couple of summers of trying to learn and finally got to where she could hold her own, which was, very nice. Um, and I knew the family and I knew Anne Marie and I knew about what was going on. But it wasn't until after the flood I got a call from Mr. Lasper and Mr. Warren, and they basically said, "We need to have a conversation with you." And of course, at my level, those conversations are never a good conversation. So I was very worried, but I sat down with them, and they told me a story. And the story was that the why and the swim lessons that Amory went through were the reason she was still here. And that kind of okay. Then they told me the story about what happened. And basically, during the flood, there was a situation where Anne Marie got separated from Mr. Warren and the waters that were over the head of Mr. Warren, and she got separated. And they, for a few seconds, their whole world came to a halt because their daughter was not with them and was underwater and being basically swept away. Um, and for anybody that has gone through that and seen that, those seconds don't feel like seconds; they feel like hours. And you have flash forwards of burying your child, and it's probably the scariest thing that they've ever gone through. But there is a silver lining to this because when they looked around, they saw Anne Marie, swimming and holding her own in the waves and with the biggest smile on her face because she was swimming. It was great, loved it. Nothing serious for her. And they were able to get to her and bring her back and into the safe part of the standing water. And it's one of those things where I have a daughter the same age as Anne Marie. And so when they're telling me this story, all I can do is imagine my daughter and everybody who hears the story the same thing. If you hear all of a sudden that your daughter gets swept away, your daughter during the most probably hectic and scariest time that you've ever been through, is not with you, and all of a sudden is taken away from you. Um, to know that they were safe and everything ended up being positive because of what you did and what the organization did. That makes it right. It makes everything we do purpose. Makes everything we do worth what we've gone through. So to this day, we still do. We don't call it Terrific Turtles anymore, but we still do the private lessons with individuals that need one-on-one help. And this can go from all levels. So it can be someone who's nonverbal, can be someone who's all we do is sit and hang out on the side of the pool. We go to their level. So whatever where they're at, that's where we want. But the ultimate goal is to get them to where they can, if they fall in, they can hold their own, they can stay afloat, and start to swim towards a surface or a person. And that's basically what we're looking for. But it is one-on-one, and it is a slow going. We go at their own pace. But it is one of those things where the fact that we can offer that, and it could save lives, and the fact that it has makes that statement even more powerful.
Mr. Josh, the Y has a special place in my heart, and you know that. Um, but what I want parents to truly understand is this is your child's safety. And you may say, like I did, my child's never going to be around water without me. My child's not going to be at a pool without me. But guess what? We were caught in a flash flood, and that water, my child fell in it. And guess what, y'all? She was with me. She was with her father, and we had no control. The only person in there that had control was her, because we know God is not a person, but we know he was in control of the situation. But the only person that had control was Amory. And it was the fact that she had gone to the Y, had gotten these lessons, had learned with, and I hate that he's not there anymore, but Mr. Daniel,
He's now a police officer, which
I
makes
know.
it makes it even better. He's got the heart of caring, so I'm glad of that. But yes,
Yeah,
it is. Daniel is a special soul, and he had the calm nature of.
yes,
I mean, he always had peace. So the kids that were with him always felt that, and I think that made them at ease. They can sense things like that more than we can, and they did.
exactly. And Mr. Josh, I'm going to tell you, when I first saw Daniel, I was skeptical because this was my baby girl, and I was going to be handing my baby or girl over to a man. I had never done that before. And in all of her swimming lessons at the Y, it always been women. And I was just, I don't know if this gonna work. She's not been around any men but her daddy and her uncle. I don't know. I don't know how this is gonna work. And then when I heard him talk, I was like, she is gonna chew him up and spit him out. He was so calm and just so peaceful and just never raised his voice. And I'm thinking, where did they find this dude? And I was on pins and needles until one time when she was in the water with him, she slipped and went under. And when she came up, I wanted to run to her, but I noticed she reached for Daniel. And it was at that moment that I said, she trusts him. She trusts him with her life. I trust him with her life. Y'all, the people at the Y love our babies. They are there to help our babies grow, succeed. We never know. Amory actually swims now. It's not dog paddling anymore. She's literally swimming, having herself a ball. So get your child in some lessons. Get your child in some lessons. Right now, I don't know who's watching. I know two people. I see Tina and Victoria. I'm very happy to see y'all. People in Louisiana, and especially people in Baton Rouge, No Greater Love is going to pay for one child to take private swimming lessons this summer. Get with me so that I can get you with Mr. Josh and the Y, and we can get you set up. We need to make sure our babies are safe when we're not there, and when we are, and we can't help them because
Yeah.
her mama can't swim. So tell me what I was
That's
going to
another
do.
conversation that we need to have, but that's another day.
Exactly. But her
Uh,
mama's scared of that water, gal. I'm trying to get better, and I was learning how to swim until that flood.
I,
And that flood, I have PTSD from that flood. And I was in Aruba just a few weeks ago, and I couldn't walk on the beach because the water scared me too much. So I'm working on it.
yeah, we found the kids, that's why it's so important to get them when they're young because as adults or even teenagers, um, it's 80% mental at
Hmm.
that point. That you've got your own preconceived notions, you've got your own biases against the water, and this is going to happen, and your mind just works and gets into this. This would happen, and then this kids, I might be scared to jump in, but once it happens, and it'll go. And then it's just learning, getting them strong enough to do it. Adults, it's mostly mental, and once that block is harder than the physical. I mean,
Yes.
getting the kids when they're young, getting the kids, before they get all these notions about the scary water and all this stuff, getting them in there. They still got the adventure in them, and you know, getting them in lessons and getting them comfortable with water early is so important. And like you said in the beginning, a lot of these kids, especially in the African American community, in lower income areas, they don't have access to water. They don't have a
Exactly.
pool. I mean, they might have a pool in the apartment, but nobody goes in there. And they have there's not these areas where you just everybody go swim, everybody go hang out. It's not. It's concrete. It's grass. It's parking lots. It's not the area where you just automatically learn.
Exactly.
No parent goes, oh, okay, it's time. They're 3, 4, 5. Let's start swim lessons. That's not a part of the conversation. So, um, yeah, having the access and having someone to show them what to do before they get to where it's not too late, but it's a little bit more difficult as an adult to learn, and it's just because of your mental blocks, not physical.
Exactly. Exactly. And I told another parent, Amory was at the Y, and I don't even know if you know this, Mr. Josh. Amory is at the Y at 6 months old in the mom and me classes every
Who
year.
who was in the water with her at that
I
moment?
was,
I
I
did not
was,
know that. Very
yes,
nice.
I
Okay.
was in the water with her during the mom and me classes. And I do the 3 feet because I'm 5 feet tall. But you're not getting me anywhere else. But I'm gonna do my best to overcome that. Um, but what I want you to do now, Mr. Josh, is I want you to tell the people who are here in Baton Rouge area,
Okay.
because I do have some friends here, how they get with the Y? What do
Okay.
they need to do?
Well, we've got several Ys that you can come to. So no matter what area of town, we can work with you.
Okay.
The easiest thing is probably just to give me a call. And I'm mostly at the Pennington YMCA off Old Hammond Highway, but 225-272-9622. That number is the easiest way, and that's just the easiest way. That way I can have a conversation with them. Where are you located? What would be the easiest way? We've got about 5 pools that are open during this summer that we can have lessons at. So depending on where you're at, whether you're in Zachary or across the river, and the Bruley area, or off Plank and near the airport, we've got areas and pools that we can get these going. But the easiest way is just give me a call and then find out a little bit more information. But we do have scholarships and financial aid available as well. We don't want to turn anybody away. We throughout the year we raise money for our scholarships as well, and we love to get that out, especially for this. We give out scholarships for summer camp and sports, but swim lessons, and especially individual one-on-one swim lessons, that it's easy to give for that. So our
Yes.
donors are very welcoming of that. But that's the easiest thing. Just give me a call, and we have a conversation. But like I said, we've got several pools that we can do this at, and we set our times, and it's not really more than 30 minutes in the water at a time, but it's enough to where get them comfortable, get them acclimated, and then we'll go from
That is so wonderful. I feel very blessed to know you.
there.
Just to
Same,
know,
same.
you've been through the ringer with us. You've been through the point when we almost lost her after the flood.
Yeah.
So there's history here. Um, if there's anything that, because I know that you are a spiritual person, is there anything that you'd like to say to parents with special needs children? Say it now.
I guess my one thing is these are your babies. These are individuals that you're pouring yourself into every day, ever since they were born. No matter what's going on with them, they're your babies. Why wouldn't you want them to be the safest as possible? You want to know that just because it might be difficult, um, that there's still a way. They can still be able to do these things. And if there's a chance that they can learn how to swim and be able to survive if something like this happens, they fall into a pool, they do something, why wouldn't you try it? And it's one of those things where um, we'll love on your babies, and hopefully teach them a little bit about the water and the safety of it. But um, we want to be able to be there, and there's no reason, just because of any difficulties that they might have in learning, or being able to handle this, we can do it. We've had some situations where parents got in the water because until they were comfortable, the children were comfortable with the teacher, that happens. The best part about this is it's not set. This has to happen at this way, because each child is different, and so that's what we try to focus on, and try to just meet the kids where they're at, and then go from there.
Now, Mr. Josh, I'm gonna separate this screen right quick because
Okay.
I want people to get an idea. We talked to you about the flood of 2016, but I want you to have an idea of what size child this was that fell into this water. Okay.
Yeah.
Give me just a second.
Lovely daughter, Amory Rain Sanders, and we had a harrowing experience escaping the flood. I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know what I was going to see when I surfaced. I didn't know if I'd see my child drifting away. We both went under. totally underwater. And when we did, I lost my grip on her. And needless to say, I was terrified. In that brief moment, I visualized my daughter's dead body being pulled from the water, having a funeral, and burying my child. And the unknown was only for a second or two, but in that couple of seconds, you'd be amazed at what your mind can tell you, think about, actually give you visions of. Worst feeling of my entire life. But when I surfaced, she had already popped up and was looking me in the eye. We made eye contact, and she immediately began trying to swim to me. She was doing her little dog paddle that she learned in swimming class this past summer. And she was able to stay afloat until I could get to her and pull her to me and get us both out of the water and back on land. I was going to say dry land, but no such thing that day. We're alive, we're together. Everything else can be replaced, but not this one here. That's pretty much it. What's the matter, sweetie? They put the king in jail. That's okay. They're gonna bust him out.
Yeah, he told that story so much, and he just got to the point where he can tell it now without crying. And I don't know, the video messed up, so y'all didn't get to see her ugly cry. It was real ugly. But I want you to understand that was our little girl, and there was nothing we could do. You have power. We had power, we just didn't know it. The power was in being proactive and getting the lessons. You have the power now. Be proactive, get the lessons, get your child what your child needs. There are people out there willing and able to do it for you. Reach out. Mr. Josh said, call him. Reach out to us. Reach out to me. If you need help, reach out to me. I'm here. No Greater Love was founded because of Amory. That's why we added Amory's journey to it, because this is all about Amory's journey. And her journey is different from your journey, but we all walking a journey. And I'm just blessed to have been on this journey with a man like Josh Landry. I'm going to be honest with you. Thank you so much for coming on today.
No problem.
Thank you so much for giving me your time, because I know you're busy. And
Anytime for y'all. Anytime.
I truly appreciate it. We're going to have to come by and let you see our 5'7", 9-year-old.
Oh, man, so big.
Yes.
It's awesome. No, I would love that. So, all right, guys. Thank y'all. Last for y'all. God bless.
You too. Thank you.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, and we're out. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.